Amazing. Happy to be here on the podcast, and I'm ready to, give some value.
Always good, man. Like in the Blackpill community, they always have this quote called Lookmaxxing, and it's a very black and white community, Blackpill. So either you're a Chad or a chode, I guess. But I think everyone can improve themselves in a way, right? And I don't think people have to look at every single detail. So can you tell me, what is the Lookmaxxing about?
Well, to me, looks maxing is just, doing the best you can with what you were given, not everyone can be born 6'6", 6'8", and, this godlike physique or whatever, that's not practical. So I believe that looks maxing is just enhancing every physical aspect of yourself. Like that goes, with the body, your face, your hairstyle, your beard, your jewelry game, your fashion. All these things can be improved. And I believe every man every man is not ugly, or most men are ugly. They're lazy, and I believe they just do the necessary work. Every man can be at least like a minimum 6 to a 7 out of 10. And that's above average. So why wouldn't you want to be that, And I don't go about this like, you have to change your eyelid exposure is showing too much or whatever. Like I'm not one of these guys. I just tell you to do the absolute very best you can, because I believe that looks are the gateway, or they open the door for opportunities, So why wouldn't you want to have as many, opportunities available to you? And if looks get you there, then why not maximize every aspect of it,
I totally agree with you. Great looks is like a thumbnail on a YouTube. You're going to get clicks. After that, the rest will come. But if nobody clicks, then the rest also doesn't follow. So, I mean, some things you can improve and some things you cannot. And some people actually want to know the truth in the Black community. And the truth is always like, do guys like short guys? Do guys like Indian guys? I hate these questions all the time. So in your experience, what is the most important things for attractiveness from a scale from low to higher? So what is the first thing that women in this case look at a guy, and what
And
follows after that? And
you're
what
talking
follows
about
after
in the physical aspect, correct?
in the physical aspect?
Okay, perfect. I believe the first thing a woman sees is your face. So it's important to have that on point, because, you could be a short dude, right? But you could have a nice face. You look it's well taken care of. And then you could be this real tall dude and his face is all jacked up and you don't take care of it. And women be like, oh, they kind of be grossed out by it. So it's important to take care of your face, and that comes with the basics, like learning how to, or, groom your beard and do your skin care, and, your haircut, and, probably moisturizing the hairs and stuff. And obviously you want to be at a lower, body fat percentage. So, you can have a visible jawline and stuff, like have these, being able to show off your masculine features, and it's not complicated. You just got to do what's required, which is exercise and, maintenance. It's all it is. So I would say your face is the most important thing.
And after the face, I mean, I do agree. I've seen some short guys who look very handsome and they get very pretty looking girls. What follows after that? Is it the height?
Frame,
Is it the body shape?
frame. You want to have a
Right.
solid frame, because you could be. Here's how I describe it. Like, you can't be. I'm not here. I'm gonna expose myself, but I'm not that tall. I'm like 5'9" max. All right, so you can't be short and have this skinny frame. It just doesn't go well, If you're gonna be like around average height or short, you need to be built well. That's the bare minimum. You're not afforded the luxuries that taller people, because taller people can be lanky and they'll still be fine. They'll have an average looking face, but they'll be lanky and they'll be just fine. But if people are like, my stature, a little shorter, you're gonna have to put in a little extra work, which is fine, Like, so what? So what, you gotta put a little extra work? Doesn't matter. So what, you gotta take care of yourself a little extra. It's okay. you're doing your best, and that's all that matters. And I believe that doing all those things, you're gonna be able to, achieve what you want, which is scoring that girl for, marriage and whatnot. So always you want to have that physique on frame. It's super important. You want to be reasonably muscular and defined. Like you want to be able to put a shirt on and like they can see that, you have the muscles and you have up like the broad shoulders and the wide back and like, you have that masculine physique that looks competent. It's very important, very important. Because if now you don't look at you and just be like, oh, he kind of has a little bit of a weak frame, I don't know if I'd be safe with him. I don't know if he could take someone on a fight. Like your whole thing is just you like they want to look at you and they look at you like, oh, this guy can defend me, this guy can stand up for us. Like we're gonna be okay with him.
I mean, I didn't know how tall you was, but I did saw your pictures. I thought you were 6'2", 6'3". You just have a great frame. So
Yeah, no,
in the
I'm a
next,
good damn. I want a good damn like 5'10".
that's amazing. I mean, it also depends on countries. I mean, you're from the US, so the average height is shorter there in Amsterdam where I am. There's a lot of 5'11" women over there. So, and there's also a lot of 6'5" guys. So length actually is pretty different over here. Do you think that there's a lot of passport bros as well? And there's always, if they are in a first world country like New York or London, somewhere like that, people from outside the country, they come here. Do you think that if someone is inconfident with their height, that they should aim for shorter women, or should they just be, this is my frame, this is who I am, and I should just not think about it? There are people who are in their head, but not everyone is 5'9". There are people with 5'5". They're pretty concerned with their height.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna give a realistic answer on this: is go for somebody about your height or lower, because it's like I believe in certain, I guess, red pill principles, which goes, comes like things talking about like hypergamy and whatnot, So you obviously want to get someone who's either at the same height as you or a little bit shorter, preferably because, you don't want to be looking up at your woman, I mean, if that's you, then, by all means, you got it, bro. Like you can pull it off and do it. But for the majority of people, I would suggest get somebody either your height or, shorter, because that height, that whole hypergamy kind of principle still applies to the most part in all realms of, human interaction.
Exactly. I mean, not everyone looks for someone who's 6'5". I mean, sometimes people are scared even of that. I do notice that most women, they want someone who's taller than them. Like if someone is 5'5", and the woman wants, if she's 5'4", she's okay with that most of the time. Do you also think that it's very funny? Maybe it's my perspective, what I see here. I see women who have less of the look side getting attracted to people who are more on the good look side because you can't really bring the good looks in the relationship. Do you think there's also like a frame like that? I.e., have you seen guys who are better looking date women who are usually less good looking than them, or about the average? What is that actually? How's your perspective in that? What have you seen?
I can't even lie. My it's so mixed on that because like I've seen so much. Like I've seen like average guys with bad women, and I've seen good looking guys with like, average looking women, So it's just one of those things that it's just like kind of like you just it that's a tough one. I can't even lie to you because I've seen so many examples of other like things of just how they're, I don't know, people are just, to me, it's almost just like a hit or miss kind of thing. Like some dudes will score big, some dudes will score low on, I guess, the looks department. But I believe a lot of times in those scenarios, the guy gets with that girl that is, quote unquote, less attractive than him because she has some traits, some personality traits that he finds super valuable in his life, and he can oversee the physical slash attract looks aspect of the thing. So yeah, I can't give you the best answer on that one, but that's kind of the best I can give you.
I think also because good looking guys, most of the time, they don't really have to worry about getting someone in their life. I mean, they're good looking, so there's always someone who's willing to get them, right?
Yeah.
And I also saw it the opposite. Funny enough, the prettier the girl, I noticed, the less attractive the guy she actually wants because he doesn't really care. That's also something which I've seen in the black pill not mentioned. That that it's always like you need to be the best of the best to get an average girl. But I don't think that's really true. But there is a whole community, not online but also offline. And from what I know, the Indian perspective, there's a lot of South Asian people who actually think they need to be light skinned, very tall to get white girls attracted to them. I've seen that. What is your perspective on that? What have you seen that? Is that even true? Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. The
I,
backer
it,
would say, yeah,
it could be true. I don't know. My experience with Indian people, or I guess brown people, is just it's very low. Since given the fact I live in a more white area of the country, because I live in Alabama, so I'm not gonna see that many Indians or brown people, because I'm in Alabama, so. For those who don't know, Alabama is in the United States in the South. If you know anything about like the rural South, it's mostly just like white people. So that's who I come in contact the most. But I've had experiences that I've seen like I guess interracial couples, and they've done just fine. But when it comes to you know Indians, I really don't know much, bro. I can't even lie to you.
no, you're allowed to know yourself, so it's different. There must be some things that the black pill says online that is actually not
Oh, you're talking about like how if you're born short, brown from the East or
something like
whatever,
that.
you're kind
Yeah.
of doomed forever because you're deemed as undesirable and your genetics are
Yes, and
trash.
it's very sad to see that because a lot of people get in that spiral and they commit suicide or they become like Iliad Roger, which is very sad to see. But there's a
Well,
lot of
look at
that you can do, right?
what's it called? I'm sorry to interrupt, but look at what's his name? Hamza Ahmed. Like he's brown. He's about like what's maybe like 6 feet tall, but man worked his ass off, became ripped, became successful, and now he can do whatever he wants and get whoever he wants. You know,
That's indeed, that's also the South Asian guy. Yeah, then people will say, oh, look, he's tall, he's muscular, and I have to do all that work just to get an average girl. But I don't think you need to do that much. You just need to look better than the average guy. Like you're the look maxing expert. So you actually see what people are doing. They think about doing all these little details. Well, actually, they don't even follow the basics of look maxing. So what's the best of look maxing after the facial?
after the facials, that frame. Well, yeah, how do I say?
The frame?
Yeah, the frame is really big part because I mean, it's after your face is what they look at. Those you go reach over for a coffee or something, they'll just see your big old meaty biceps, your triceps just poking out or whatever. So it's like, um, yeah, your frame is it's just really is. It just comes down to your frame because like what else can you control other than your frame and your face, your haircut and stuff, But also, I see that a lot of guys don't understand the female gaze, right? So they'll want to like just get as big as possible, and they'll end up looking all clunky and they look not good. So it's like you gotta understand also the female gaze and what women find attractive, and it comes down to just basic things like you want to understand how to combine the feminine and the masculine, right? You want to be a combination of both. You don't want to just be too masculine because then you're just going to look like you're going to scare them away, especially like around my age range, women don't want a hyper masculine man that looks just like he's just pumped of TRT and, and is ready to go, I don't know, do a strongman competition, She wants someone who has a good combo both. You want to look like for example, like the best thing that I can do is like, because a lot of men, they have feminine features in their face, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with having feminine features. Like, for example, a lot of men have like feminine eyes. Even I have feminine eyes. Look, like it's normal. But you combine that with things like your eyebrows. You want to make your eyebrows thick and dark, so it has that contrast. You have the feminine eyes, but the dark, you know, the dark, thick eyebrows, and then you have what's it called? Like, and then you have a beard. Let's say you can grow a beard. Boom, more contrast. You have like this little bit of feminine looking face, but then you boom contrast it with a beard, and then you have either, you know, let's say you have, I guess, I don't know, you can have short hair, and it's all about contrast, in my opinion. You can make yourself look really, really good if you understand how to contrast yourself. For example, if you have a really masculine face, right, you can grow your hair out, you know, and that right there is just even more contrast, which is things that are deemed very attractive, because I believe that combining the feminine and the masculine is just, it's a recipe for greatness. Because think about it, like when people get together, or when men and women gets together, what they're doing is combining the feminine and the masculine. They create this amazing relationship. You can do the exact same thing. You know, I believe there's a lot of things like in nature that are just like, I guess they all combine together, or they just they're kind of a representative of each other. Like, for example, you have the sun and the moon, you know, which I believe they represents the masculine and the feminine, you know, and together they work in sync, and it's really beautiful. And I believe all these things are in nature, and you can apply them to yourself, and hence, like, you can just really, you just work on these things and you understand them. You can instantly just boost your attractiveness just by like just understanding this, because you're gonna work, do little things here and there, and before you know it, you'll be this, you know, good looking guy. It's really not that hard. You just gotta, I guess, understand what masculine and feminine is.
I mean, you were right that there are some men who have feminine features in their face. And I think it's also a time that it doesn't really matter because, I mean, look at Korean guys. And they, a lot of times they also look feminine, but they have this masculine look sometimes as well. It's very hard to describe. Uh, you know it when you see it. And I mean, you're the look maxing guy. Of course, look maxing is not necessarily black pill, but it's kind of associated with that, and which is very sad because there is some truth in look maxing. Most girls, they just are not open to date someone who's shorter than them. That doesn't mean you have to go to the opposite extreme. But it's a lot of times I also see short guys, they just have this negative mindset, which makes them even more horrible than if they were just positive and short. I mean, the tall guys were very toxic. Well, that's actually more unattractive than short guys who are good in the skin and are half a frame. So it's not about a black pill, but look maxing can also be something else. What's your view on it?
No, I see that it can be more approached from like a green pill perspective. And those who don't know what the green pill is, it's basically like self improvement, or I'm sorry, it's basically doing self improvement for God. You know, like you want to be your best version for, you know, God. So I believe that's the best way to go about self improvement, because you have blue pill, black pill, red pill, all these things, but ultimately they're just man made things, and they're just being garbage, bro. So I think it's just best not to listen to that, and rather approach it from the green pill's perspective. And my, I guess, black pill take on the green pill or whatever is, why wouldn't you want to be your most attractive self? You know, because God gave us this body. So why wouldn't you want to just maximize, you know, what you were given? It's really that simple. And I believe that, like, I think this is one, it's in uh, Sahih Muslim. Sahih Muslim, is that right? Sahih Muslim number 131. I think it says, God is beautiful, and he loves beauty, you know? And I read that, and I'm just like, God, that's such an amazing quote. I was like, God is beautiful, and he loves beauty. And so why wouldn't you want that for yourself? Why would you want to be beautiful for the sake of God? You know? Because he created everything beautiful. Everything's beautiful. You go outside, you look into nature, it's beauty. It's so beautiful, right? And you're no different. You're just creation as well. So why would you not also want to be beautiful? That's just my take on it, though.
I do agree that there should be a combination of both the inside and outside. I've seen a lot of insecure bodybuilders who look very good, but their insecurity, it just shows, and that's very unattractive. Even though they're tall, they're muscular, they have everything what you say about the look maxing, but yeah, they just don't have it. They just don't have it. A lot of girls also think guys who groom themselves too much, they kind of look gay, and actually it has the opposite effect.
Well, it's a balance when it comes to these things. Because, bro, I'm telling you, I've seen guys at the gym who are all buff and just walking all muscular, bro. I'm telling you. But then I look at their face and they look like mouth breathers, and I'm like, the gym's not gonna save you, bro. You're gonna have to do some work on your, on your, I guess, on your upper, like in your face. You wanna, because I saw this is one guy I had seen him. He was all like muscular and stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, built like a tank, but his face, he looked like he was a mouth. Like, he had no jaw. His eyes were kind of poking out like this. His hair was thinning and stuff. I'm just like, I wish I would have approached him. I would have told him, listen, bro, this is what you got to do. All right, you got to like, because the thing is, he had to fix his posture. He had to do a bunch of things. He had to groom himself better. He just had to do so many things. It would have probably been like a year or two process to get him right naturally. But I believe that a lot of times people think that the gym is going to save them, and it's just not. The gym is not going to save you. It's a good starter. Don't get me wrong. It's something necessary for all men, but it's not the end all be all. Like, a lot of men just be, oh, I'm going to get muscular and I'm going to get all the girls. Like, no, that's not what's going to happen, bro. You're just going to be this big old blocky guy. Like, you can still be this big jacked man, but be socially retarded and, angst or whatever. And then you have the opposite end, which are guys who just take care of themselves to the T. You got their little thin eyebrows and just, they got themselves with a little bit of makeup or whatever, freaking skinny jeans, just thinking that that's what it's gonna get them the girls. Like, no, that's not it. It's all a balance of these things. Like, yes, you want to take care of yourself, but you don't want to be the most you don't want to be the most attentive to the most minuscule things, and just because those things are going to feminize you to an extent, and that's repulsive for a lot of women, because women don't want a man who takes better care of themselves than them. Like, it's to them, it'll look silly. You want to be a mix of both. You want to be like, yes, you're a big old jacked guy, but you also take decent care of yourself. It's not. It's all about being a balance at the end of the day. It's all about being balanced and understanding that both are not the end all be all, but they are great enhancers.
Yeah, we don't want to mask insecurity, of course. I mean, then again, it's easier to fix your outer than the inner if you have some issues. Oh, but the first step is just to understand that you need some improvement. What's this bot that thing about? Is that a meme on the internet, or are girls these days are like, we've been to the other side. Everyone wants to have a six pack. Everyone is in the gym now. I just don't care about it. That bot is the more than, or is that just a meme going on the internet?
You said the dad bod, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
The dad bod, it depends on who you are, honestly. Some guys can pull it off, some can't. But I mean, obviously, I believe that a woman would like a man who, is, low percentage or low body fat percentage, just six pack abs and stuff. Like, most women prefer that, I would say. But again, it does it does depend on who you are, because some men could just pull off the dad bod and they'll look great. It is what it is. But in general, I would prescribe most men to get a six pack. A six pack is a game changer, because it's a flex by default, because only like maybe 15% of the population has them. So you're already above 95, or like 85% of the population if you have a six pack. So why not get a six pack?
Yeah, why not? If you can improve it, if you can get it, why not? Of course, if you're morbidly obese, just try to get obese. And after that, it goes lower and lower. Yeah, man. I mean, I really loved your channel because you were talking about Lookmaxxing, and immediately in my mind, I had the Blackpill ideology. But of course, there's a self-improvement side on it as well. So I really like you, man. And I think you can provide a lot of value for other men as well.
Yeah, bro. No, I appreciate that so much. Thank you. Yeah, just trying to spread my message, and I'm trying to get people to understand that Looksmaxxing isn't this gay trend or whatever, nor is it this trend of, controlling what you can't, Like, I don't want people to look at that, because a lot of people have a really bad image of Looksmaxxing and stuff. And it's really, because the thing is, I don't believe Looksmaxxing is the end all be all. Like, I believe that, you might not do certain things right, but you'll still be okay, As long as you're doing like the bare minimum, it's gonna be all right,
True. There's always someone who's like, "Oh, hey, you have it easy talk. You're looking handsome. Even if you would not do anything, you would still look handsome." What do you want to say to those people? More,
Wait,
yeah.
repeat that. I didn't hear that. I think cut off a little
Maybe
bit.
there's always someone who looks at Rubiani and they're like, "Oh, hey, you have it easy. Of course you do. You can do Looksmaxxing. You don't even have to do a lot, man. You already have it."
I wish I could show them pictures of myself when I was younger. My brother and me were actually we were at work last week, and we were talking about this, and he was like, Rubiani, bro, you went through the best glow up I've ever seen because I was an ugly ass kid. Because I was actually really conscious of the fact that I wasn't the best looking, right? And this was like this whole thing. It was I want to say like a 5 year process of trial and error till I finally nailed down my looks, and I understood like it, it was it was a learning process to say the least, but I got it, and now I'm here and I'm happy with myself because I believe a lot of times with fixing your external, it can lead to you fixing a lot of your internal problems, you know, and vice versa. Fixing a lot of internal problems can fix a lot of external problems, you know. Both it goes both ways. So yeah, to those who think, oh yeah, he's just this handsome Chad, it's like, yeah, I am. But I wasn't always this handsome Chad. I used to be an ugly ass kid, but alhamdulillah, thankfully, by the will of God, I was able to improve and work my way up to where I am now. So, you know, alhamdulillah.
I've also seen the opposite. Guys who could look like fitness model get very conscious of that. Is there a reason why that happens? I mean, there's so many beautiful guys. They're 6'4", they're model looking, but because they have this definition, descendants, they still think of themselves as a short Asian ugly guy, I guess, the stereotype.
Oh, that just probably comes with an inferiority complex that they have, which is something that they have to address internally. That's not an external fix. That is on them, in them, you know. So to those people, I say, stop comparing yourself and be proud of who you are because you've worked for it. You know, you worked your ass off, and now you're this tall, beautiful looking Chad. So why would you care that you're fucking I don't know what is not on point? Like who cares, brother? You've done all this work. You're good. You know, and I feel like if they realize and they really just take that in, they're gonna be at peace with themselves and they're not gonna worry about it because it'd be different if they were like some, you know, they were ugly and they really put the work in. They'd be like, oh yeah, then I'd be like, yeah, brother, you know, I guess it would be valid for you to feel like this. But if you're, you know, so and so and you're handsome and tall, bro, and you put the work in, bro, you have nothing to be ashamed of. You've done your part.
I think it's also the halo effect because if you're very good looking, people already assume you're already on the top of everything, that you already have the social skills in order. Uh, some people might even reject you just to feel to boost their ego, so they can say, "I rejected the handsome guy who wanted to approach me." Because it's the same as a tall girl saying, "Oh, this short guy, he had the audacity to talk to me." I heard girls say that, and yeah, it's kind of sad, but I think it's the opposite. Cool, man. You can help a lot of people out. How can people reach you? I will put them in the links as well.
Oh yeah, they can reach me at Rubiani.Reverted on IG, and if they want to subscribe to my YouTube at Rubiani.Reverted, much appreciated. And if anyone wants to work with me, I'd be more than happy to have a free consultation with them and see how I can help them. So yeah, man.
I mean, you're one of the few good guys of look maxing them, and there's so much negativity out there, and someone needs to be on the opposite side. I
Yep.
hope you get a lot of people, and I hope a lot of people get helped by you.
Inshallah,
God's
bro.
work.
Yeah, man. Thank you.